So the first part of the plot of Medea has us seeing um, that Jason has left to has left Medea to marry the daughter of Creon. Creon is the king of Corinth, and this is where Jason and Medea have ended up after fleeing Iolcos and Colchis. And of course, you can imagine that Medea is not happy about this, and in fact, Euripides portrays her as sort of enraged, kind of out of her mind, upset about this, as you can imagine, because not only is she being spurned by Jason, and she calls Jason really an oath breaker, but also she feels like she's really the one that has really done everything for Jason. Really, she even killed her own brother for Jason. So she's incredibly upset about this, and she has a plan to kill Jason, his new wife, and Creon for revenge. In fact, she decides she's going to poison them, but she's so upset that even if poisoning doesn't work, she's going to grab a sword and just hack them up, knowing that she will then be executed for her crimes. That's how upset she is. Creon gets wind of the idea that Medea is so upset and decides to banish her from Corinth. She must leave Corinth immediately because she is a danger to everybody there, well, particularly Creon. But she is able to convince him to give her a day to get ready to leave. She sort of is very persuasive in the way that she talks to Creon about taking care to say goodbye to her children and things like that. And this is very Creon becomes sympathetic and says, well, you can have one day. How much trouble can you cause in one day? And throughout this, there's all kinds of talk about women is complicated, women is difficult, women is exasperating. The chorus gives us an update, and then Jason comes in, and they have a fight, a big fight. Jason and Medea have a fight. And in this fight, Jason really essentially blames Medea for her own problems. Said to Medea, if you had just kept your mouth shut, everything would have been fine, but you can't control yourself, and really you put yourself in this position, this banishment. But I'm not hard-hearted. I don't hate you. I will give you some money. So he's very patronizing and paternalistic in his attitudes toward Medea, for sure. Medea, in rage, says that basically she made Jason. He was nobody until he met her, and with all her help, he became a somebody in Colchis, got the golden fleece, etc. Jason responds that, no, actually, you didn't have that much to do with it, woman, and that the only reason I'm even planning to marry this daughter of Creon is because, not for me, but for our children, because if our children then have brothers who are of royal blood, then their position in the world will be secure. In other words, Jason's saying, I'll have more children with my new wife, and then they'll be half brothers to our children, and then everything is great, not only for our children, but also for us. It's kind of a well-intentioned, if we take Jason at his word, he's being very well-intentioned. He's trying to do something he thinks is the right thing for his family. Medea responds to him quite angrily, of course, and Jason ends up cursing women. He goes so far as to say, wouldn't it be great if we could create children without the aid of women? That's how difficult they are. So certainly we have very intense situation here between Jason and Medea. We then have really what I'm calling an OMG moment, an oh my God moment. Medea decides after this knockdown fight with Jason that I'm not going to kill Jason and his wife and father, but I'm going to kill my own children too, because how could I dare have the kids alive in the world? Just to how could I allow Jason to excuse me, let me back up. I want to punish Jason by killing his kids. I'd rather have him live and see his kids dead. Medea then also needs an escape plan. The king of Athens, Aegeus, happens to be in Corinth on business, and she talks with him and says, I've been banished. And he says, basically, that's horrible. What are you going to do? And in the course of talking, Aegeus reveals that he has not yet had any children, and fears that he's infertile and incapable of having children. She agrees, as a kind of a sorceress, I will use a spell to be able to give you children, but you have to swear to protect me if I'm able to get out of here alive. He says, yeah, I will, but I can't say anything until you get to Athens. Aegeus cannot risk upsetting his relationship with the king of Corinth. So he says, look, if you get out of here and get to Athens, then I'll protect you. But before then, I can't say anything. So this is where we are at the moment, right? Jason has what he believes to be a well-intentioned move of securing his children's future. And Medea says, well, I'll show you what I think about that. I'm going to kill our children. I would like to have you, Jason, see your own sons killed. And that's where we are at this moment in the plot. Jason doesn't know this yet. I mean, nobody knows this. This is going on in Medea's head.